Hello, I am Chucky J, and I am loading into Elder Scrolls Online. This is right after the Dark Brotherhood patch came out. I actually don't have the Dark Brotherhood DLC, but there has been a massive patch that changes a bunch of things in the game as a whole. So I want to take a look at that. I am by no means an expert at this game. In fact, if anybody that is an expert watches this and looks at my build, they're probably gonna laugh at my Templar because he's kind of all over the map. So we'll see how that goes. So the first thing to note right here is that it has been a massive patch, and if you look at the last paragraph, it says if you're encountering any issues, make sure the patch is completely finished and restart your console. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. I mean, I have restarted since, but the first time I loaded in here just to make sure everything was working, I had not restarted, but the patch had completely downloaded, and things seemed to work properly. But a lot of people have been having problems. So, as far as I understand, the complete restart of the console, so in the case of an Xbox, that means complete shutdown, not just putting it in sleep mode, then that helps. So we're going to load in here. The biggest change is the removal of veteran ranks, and my guy did not hit veteran rank yet. But what they have done does affect me, which is that the skill points and attribute points that you would have earned during veteran rank have been moved down to the other levels. So like each level, or every second level, something like that, you might get a bonus skill point. Okay, well, it did actually crash out on me. So let's go back in here. So the idea is, I don't remember the exact. They laid it out in the notes. This wasn't even the patch notes. This was a large blog post that they made a couple of weeks ago that they spelled out. You know, at level 2 you get an extra point, at level 5 you get an extra 2 points, something like that. So they wanted leveling up to feel more valuable. But I think the main reason for getting rid of veteran is a kind of a balancing issue, but I'm not really sure I understand the reasonings. So you'll max out at 50, and you'll get champion points, which people were getting anyways, but you'll get more champion points over time. And those are spent in a skill tree that is somewhat reminiscent of the one from Skyrim, not in terms of content, but in terms of look. It's constellations and stuff like that. So once you hit level 50, you start getting these champion points, and you can spend them in this tree. And I think those you aren't necessarily stuck with once you spend them. I think you can move them around. But I think what they call respecking your points from your standard stuff, from your pre-level 50 skill points. I think those you have to pay to respec, I think. Which makes my whole weird build, it might end up being problematic. But I think it's fun. I'm a two-handed Templar, but I'm thinking about changing that up. So let me show you here. I'm down in the what do they call it? The Outlaws Refuge or something, below Daggerfall. I haven't been doing too much. I haven't even started the Thieves Guild quest proper. I just claimed it. I do have that DLC. I haven't been doing too much thieving, but I do a little bit. It's just such a good source of money. Like I actually spent my gold recently to upgrade my capacity to carry stuff. So I upgrade my backpack or whatever you want to call it, and I'm already back up to 9,000 gold. So that's for a variety of reasons, but one of those reasons is because I've been stealing things that are pretty valuable and coming down here to the fence and selling them. So anyway, want to go in here and look at skills. Well, let's go to character first, because the same thing is happening with attribute points as is with skill points. So if we go into here to character, I now have 13 attribute points to spend, which I didn't before the patch. And that's because some that I would, had I been leveling up starting now with the patch released, I would have earned 13 attribute points by now, in addition to the ones I already earned. That's just how the rebalancing of those points has worked. So now I need to spend these. So the question is, I've been somewhat balanced, which is probably not the best idea from what I've been reading and listening to. So do I go further into stamina than I've already been? Or do I maybe focus more towards magicka now? Because it seems like at least when I go into PvP, I end up focusing on healing people. And sieging, which sieging doesn't really, as far as I know, it doesn't benefit from any of these things. Maybe I could use a little more health so I could withstand some shots while I'm doing siege. So I'm not really sure what I want to do here. That's kind of my problem. My two-handed abilities cost a lot of stamina, and I think one of them got nerfed. One of the main ones I've been using got nerfed. So I may have to switch things up. So let's go into here to skills. Okay, hopefully it's not going to force me to spend my attribute points. Oh no. Can I just say ready? Okay, good. All right, so now I've got 14 skill points to spend, which is insane. So much stuff that I could do. But of course, I'm not ready to, I'm just barely at the level where I can use ebony armor, and I don't have enough to make anything really. And I can't spend my stuff here. I could maybe spend it in provisioning, spend it on some of this stuff. All right, so in my two-handed, I'm using, okay. So I'm pretty sure they did nerf what's originally called uppercut, and then you morph it into different things. So mine is, I've upgraded into dizzying swing, which stuns for 3.5 seconds and knocks back 4 meters. So I've been using that uppercut move quite a bit to kind of get people or NPCs that are fighting me off my back. And it works pretty well. But I believe the uppercut, it already had started with a ability to at least knock them back, if not also stun them. And I believe they've removed that from the basic level of this move. Thankfully, I've already upgraded it, so I'm good to go. So I'm using Brawler, which has this nice additional ability that you gain a shield, and it increases in strength by each enemy that you hit. So you can be surrounded. Not so useful in PvP, at least for me. I end up getting hit just one-on-one, and usually by someone who's way higher level than me. But in a lot of these dungeons and missions and stuff, I can end up surrounded by little puny guys, and I can use my Brawler move and get surrounded by a shield, which is pretty awesome. So now the question is, what do I spend these 14 points on? And some of what they changed in the patch might affect that. So I just want to look This is just as much for my information as for yours. So under ADRIC Spear, Burning Light has changed, which I don't think I'm using. I forget which one that even is. Oh no, it's down here. It's a passive. Okay. So now this passive deals physical or magic damage based on whether your weapon damage or spell damage is higher respectively. Okay. There we go. So that green part at the bottom is a change in this patch. Deals physical damage and scales with weapon damage, or deals magic damage and scales with spell damage, based on whichever is higher. So I could go back. Well, no, I can't go to my character. Can I? Okay. Weapon damage 838, spell damage 865. So right now it'd be working with spell damage. Interesting. So that's one change, and that doesn't necessarily hurt me, so that's good. Okay, so and if I go ahead and upgrade this, it'll double the amount of damage, the amount of bonus damage. So that's interesting. I'm probably going to do that. I do use ADRIC Spear stuff a little bit. I have the ultimate, and I have puncturing strikes. I probably should be using one more, honestly. So I might do that also. Okay, then under Dawn's Wrath, Power of the Light is a backlash morph. So I probably didn't use that morph, basically. It's either one of these two, and I didn't use that morph, so that doesn't affect me. And then under Restoring Light, Cleansing Ritual. Okay, so did they change Healing Ritual? Oh, Cleansing Ritual. Okay. I have it unlocked, but I'm not actually using it right now. Now removes 2 harmful effects from the casting Templar as a baseline effect. So that used to be a 2, or used to be a 1, but now it's 2. That might be useful. I'd like it to be more obvious on screen when I have a harmful effect. I'm sure PC players have all kinds of add-ons and stuff. Maybe there's a switch that I can flip in the options. Not sure. I do use Rushed Ceremony a lot, and I think that changed. Yes. Okay. They don't mention it here, but I guess there was a bit of a bug, essentially, where you could heal allies through walls. Maybe that wasn't considered a bug, maybe that was part of it, but I guess they somewhat nerfed it, so you can't heal an ally through a wall. Most focused healing. Do I have focused healing? Rename this passive to Sacred Ground. Okay, so this used to be focused healing, and it now has a new effect. In addition to providing the minor mending buff, it now also reduces the movement speed of enemies by 15 or 30%. I guess that depends on what upgrade you choose. Yeah, so I can upgrade it to 30% when they're standing in one of your healing effects. So Cleansing Ritual, Rune Focus, or Rite of Passage, if you use those and an enemy walks in, their movement speed is slowed by 15%, and if you upgrade it, then it's 30%. So that's interesting. That's a new change. Purifying Ritual is a Cleansing Ritual morph. I haven't morphed it. So I think that's all that affects me in here. Then in Two-Handed. So I've been exclusively using Two-Handed basically the entire time. The only reason I really have experience in some of these other things I guess I use them a little bit, but it's mostly from reading books. So now the question is, when I hit 49, should I just keep with, or when I hit 50, should I just stick with it? Or should I like switch to dual wield and unlock some stuff there? I don't really know. Oh, something's happening in the PvP campaign. Okay, so in here, Cleave, which I think is the start of Dizzying Swing. No, it's not. Which one's Cleave? I think it's the beginning of Brawler. Damage over time. Yeah, so they increased the amount of damage over time that it's talking about here by 20%. Executioner is part of Reverse Slash. I'm not doing that. Forward Momentum. I'm not doing that. Reverse Slice is Reverse Slash. I have it, I'm just not using it. And Uppercut is what I was talking about. So Uppercut and the Wrecking Blow Morph no longer knock back and stun enemies that are hit, but the Dizzying Swing has changed, which is what I have. So it no longer applies the minor maim debuff, but it does knock back and stun. Okay. Interesting. So that's most of the changes that affect me directly. Well, actually, there's some heavy armor stuff. Let me go back. So I'm already 50 at heavy armor. I don't know if now I should switch to medium, just in case I ever, or maybe light. Maybe I could find some really useful light armor and then want to use it. I don't know what people generally do in that respect. I haven't used since you can only have 2 ultimate abilities on your ability bar, I haven't bothered to unlock Immovable, but I probably should, honestly. Especially for PvP, I hear it's awesome. So what's changed here? Bracing. Bracing. Rename this passive ability to Wrath. Okay, so this was Bracing. And now it increases your weapon and spell damage by 10 or 20 for 6 seconds after taking damage. Stacks up to 10 times. So that is really, really cool. So that makes it a lot more interesting to be a tank. So that makes me wonder if maybe I should keep going into the stamina world. So I can use more of those abilities. I don't know. So yeah, all the heavy armor stuff except for the ultimate are passives. Constitution, increase the amount of magicka and stamina restored from this passive ability when you are hit by approximately 275%. Okay. So increases health recovery by 4% per piece of heavy armor equipped. So I'm getting 28% health recovery just by having all of my stuff be heavy armor. Then each time you are hit, but only once every 4 seconds, you get 888 magicka and stamina back. So that also makes being a tank really interesting. So that's cool. Juggernaut. Juggernaut just straight up increases your max health per armor equipped. So I think this was at rank 1 it was 0.5%, and at rank 2 it was 1%, and they doubled that. So now it's 1 or 2%. So I'm getting 14% additional max health from my armor, which is huge. It was 7. Rapid Mending. I guess we talked about that one. But it no longer... Okay, so this is interesting. No, we didn't talk about this one. Rapid Mending increases your healing received by 8% and increases the magic and stamina your heavy attacks restore by 50%. I haven't been doing all that many heavy attacks. Okay, but what they changed, they increased the bonus, the healing received, to 8% instead of 4%, and the magic and stamina restore was 25%, now it's 50%, but you must be wearing 5 or more pieces of heavy armor. So that's interesting too. Alright, well I think I'm just going to go ahead and spend that 1 point there. I know I want that. Then there's literally a ton of other things. For vampires, there was a ton of changes. For werewolves, there was maybe half as many changes as there are for werewolves. There's a bunch of changes to the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild skills. Let's see, I haven't been actively using the assault and support stuff. Alright, so that's most of the changes. At least that affect me. What I really need to do is get my blacksmithing higher. I feel like I've been doing everything I can to do that. Alright, so what else has changed? I think in collections it's just telling me that I don't have that DLC, which is correct. So now I need to make my decision. What am I going to do here? Because I enjoy the ability to heal, especially allies, especially in tough fights. But maybe I need to be more tanky. And then just have the healing as an option, even though it won't be a nearly as much healing as could be dished out by a real healer. It's a tough one. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Focus more on stamina and health, but then put a few points into Magicka. So let's do 3 in Magicka, and then maybe 5 in each of these. So an interesting thing to note, it doesn't say it here, I guess. It's not just increasing your amount of Magicka or your amount of stamina, it's also increasing the power of the abilities that use those. So it's a really important decision. But I think that's what I want to do. I'm still keeping Magicka as an option, but focusing more on tankiness and my stamina abilities. So I think that's probably a good choice. Do I have any new titles? No, I don't. I need to finish out some of the quest lines so I can get some new titles. Alright. I think we go ahead and commit this. Let's do it. Okay, so now, what, can I do anything in my Imperial? Yeah, I definitely need the stamina. That's been one of the weird things about the lore, I guess, is that my character is an Imperial, but for a large portion of the game, I'm fighting against an Imperial takeover of the Daggerfall Covenant, so it's kind of weird. I guess I'm just an Imperial that saw the light of the Daggerfall Covenant and decided to join them. See, the thing that bothers me about Fighters Guild, I probably should be using these. But so many of them say down at the bottom that you get like a bonus if you're fighting an undead. Well, did they change that? Or am I thinking of Mages Guild? Huh. Maybe I'm just confused. I need to be thinking about using at least one of these skills. I definitely got Intimidate. Okay, there's some passives down here. Okay, so you can do an additional 20% to undead, Daedra, and werewolves. So I think that includes werewolves that are out, that are in PvP, I think. So I probably need to be using one or two of these abilities. Probably don't need Mage's Guild, given the choice I just made. And hopefully I'll start earning some more Undaunted credit soon. Ledger Domain, so I've been slowly unlocking this stuff. I probably should do the Forcing Locks thing. Just to save me, like, real lifetime. Sometimes unlocking those chests takes the full length of time of the timer. Yeah, I don't think I can morph... Can I morph either of my ultimates anymore? Huh, I thought I was... What's my other ult? Oh yeah, Remembrance. Yep, I think I've already morphed that one. So I need to be using it more so I can get the number 4 upgrade. Rushed Ceremony. So I can upgrade that to Honor the Dead or Breath of Life. So now it will refund part of the ability's cost when you're healing an injured target. So I guess that means you can certainly use Rush Ceremony and it'll just trigger and it won't help anybody if nobody's wounded. I guess that could be nice. But I think Breath of Life would be more useful. Especially if you're in PvP and you're trying to take over a keep or something. Doing an extra 50% of healing to someone else could be nice. Of course, I'm not majorly focusing on this one anymore. So it's less important. Maybe I need to be spending my points in the stamina stuff first. This is Magicka 2, which I'm not sure that I realized. Although some of them I think can convert to stamina. Heck, let me see that. Biting Jabs will convert it to a stamina ability. It'll cost slightly less stamina than it does Magicka. Puncturing Sweep heals me when I use it. So that's a tough one. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. Okay, so this stuff is Magicka. Dawn's Wrath, Magicka. See, I'm becoming a stamina-focused Templar, but a lot of the skills are Magicka. Oh well. Alright, so let's focus on two-handed then. I'm not quite 50 yet, so I can't do that. Momentum. Focus your strength to gain major brutality, increasing your weapon damage by 20% for 30 seconds. You also heal yourself for 312 health every 2 seconds while active. So that's 15 times, essentially. Unless somebody cancels it, I don't know. So I should probably be doing that. And maybe I'll replace... let's assign it to here. My thought here and if you guys know anything about this game, I'd love to hear your thoughts, was that sometimes you get stunned and things like that. And I was trying to switch my ability bar to the other one, and it wouldn't let me. And then I was still trying to attack, so my thought was that I should have at least one healing ability on my attack bar. But that might not be such a good idea. Especially given things like this, where I'm boosting my damage for 20%. So I think I need to do that. We'll put that on left bumper. Now, of course, this is the level 1 of this ability, so I need to start using it a lot so I can get it leveled up. My right bumper ability is the one from multiplayer. It's in Assault, called Rapid Maneuver. This is the #1 reason, even if you aren't really interested in multiplayer, to go in and at least get, I guess, the level 1. I think you can unlock this once you get to rank 1. It's huge. Mobilize your forces, granting major expedition and major gallop to your group, increasing your movement speed and your mounted speed by 30%, and grants immunity to snares and immobilization. But the bottom thing is something that I was not really paying attention to, which is if you do rapid maneuver and then you heal or something like that, then the rapid maneuver goes away. So this is huge for getting around the world, which you can use it in single play or in the main campaign areas. You can use it in Cyrodiil and outside of Cyrodiil. Doesn't matter. So I think everybody should be going into Cyrodiil to at least get this and try it out and see what they think. I really enjoy it, but I also really enjoy leaving Cyrodiil and going and doing the regular game. So this is a huge ability to have. Gallop 30% faster. Run 30% faster. It's nice. Okay, so let me switch to my other bar. Question is, should I put something else in there along with my along with my Templar stuff, some of which is also healing stuff? Maybe I should get another ADRIC spear ability. Yeah, that would be nice. So that gives you an ability to interrupt people if they're casting something. Like, say they're casting a healing ability on their friends, you can interrupt them. So I think I might do that, and the only question is where to put it on the bar. Can I just look at my... Yeah, I think I can. I can go up here. See, this is one where it's almost like a passive. So just because I have it in my bar, I get minor fortitude, minor endurance, minor intellect. So I get 10% health, stamina, and magicka recovery. That's pretty nice. And if I use it, then myself and my group, which I thought... I need to look this up. I guess group is literally your group. I think it really should be you and your nearby allies. But anyway, it grants them major fortitude, endurance, and intellect. So they get 20% recovery for 15 seconds, which is awesome. So I guess if I'm just going out and doing single player, maybe I could get rid of this and it'd be fine. And Rush Ceremony is the healing. Purifying Light is one I've been trying to use more. It's kind of interesting. You use it on an enemy and it like puts a beam of light on them, and over 6 seconds, all the damage that you do to them, an additional 18% is also done when it goes off at 6 seconds. Then, so I think that might be a reduction. I thought it was closer to 30%. I'm gonna have to look that up. But anyway, and then this is one of the morphed abilities, so an additional ability to it, where when it ends, there's a pool around the enemy, and everybody that's in that pool gets healing. So that's pretty nice too. But since it's only 18%, I might go ahead and switch it out for that focus charge. At least so I can start leveling up focus charge and see what it looks like. So let me do that. I'm going to put it on the B. So that'll be interesting. I think that's about all the changes that I want to make right now. I mean, maybe I should like start wearing medium armor instead of heavy armor. I don't know. If you guys know anything about that, let me know. Then I just got to figure out where to spend the other 8 points, or do I just hold on to them until I start hold on to a couple of them, maybe until I get some more blacksmithing experience. I don't know. What stinks is that both of these I have to wait until level 50. What I found is that provisioning seems to level up pretty quickly if you've got the right recipes. And I've been finding tons and tons of recipes, especially I found a lot when I was lower level. In PvP, I was doing, or in Cyrodiil, I was doing a lot of the quests that are outside of the battles. There's different towns you can go to and do quests in. And I would very often in chests and, you know, crates and stuff, I would find a recipe. Been finding a lot out in the regular world, outside of Cyrodiil too. So now I have some good blue ones. I even have a couple of purple ones. But the purple ones require they require ingredients that you can't harvest. You can only get them through doing the provisioning mission. I forget what it's called. Provisioning writ. So if I had the mulled wine recipe, I could go ahead and finish, which I don't. I could go ahead and finish this writ, and it's quite like, or it's possible that I'll get one of those rare ingredients. And I think you can also get them through the mail. So I haven't checked my mail yet here. There's my raw enchanter. No, I didn't get it today with the provisioning materials. So that kind of stinks. But yeah, so I have these purple recipes that are pretty cool. But if I use the blue ones, I could level up my provisioning pretty quickly. So I may go ahead and get that to 50 pretty quick here. So that's just a quick overview of at least what's changed for me in the patch. I'm sure there's a ton of things I'm forgetting. I've kind of scrolled through this entire patch notes and looked at things that looked interesting, but it's huge. Even without the DLC, a lot of things have changed. So if you're interested, I definitely suggest you look up the patch notes, and you might be kind of overwhelmed because there's a lot of stuff. So let me know your thoughts on this, if you play, or why you're not playing. And I hope this is helpful, kind of explain some things. And I'll see you next time.